Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the fifth section of the Dart tutorial. This section is called Connect Your App to Firestore and Authentication. This first video tackles adding Firebase dependencies. Okay, so what are we going to learn? In this video, we will learn what are the required dependencies so that we can use Firebase, how to import the dependencies, and lastly, we will also learn how to configure Firebase for Android and iOS apps. Okay, so the Firebase dependencies that we will use are number one, cloud underscore Firestore. Second is Firebase underscore auth. And the third is Google underscore sign underscore in. So we need to make sure that the config files are imported correctly and that we import the required dependencies through PubSpec. And also there's a new plugin that I would like to recommend to you, or it's not new, it's new for this video. It is the Firebase storage, which is useful for storing, photos and videos and such. So if you want to use that, then just go ahead and use it. So let's see how we will import this through PubSpec. So let's open PubSpec and import the required plugins. Okay, so these three. So let's go to the codes. Let's open PubSpec. Okay, so when importing libraries or plugins or modules, you need to specify the version. Okay, so let's go back to the slide and see the version that we will be using for this video and even for the app. Okay, so Cloud Firestore 082, Firebase Auth 065, and Google Sign In 324. Okay, so let's go ahead and put it into our PubSpec. Cloud Firestore, Firebase Auth, and then Google Sign In. Okay, so let me just have a short discussion about this caret here. So the caret is for saying that you will use any version after 0.82 and within the 0 major version. Okay, so if it becomes 1.0, then it will not use that. So the caret is just within the major version. Okay, so let's put that in 0.8.2. However, you can also do it like this, greater than or equal to 0.8.2. So what it will do is that you will get any new version greater than 0.8.2. Okay, so when you do your package get by clicking this button here or using the CLI to do the package get, then it will get any newer version that it can find. Okay, so when it's in beta mode, that means that any beta mode will be used and maybe your app will break because you didn't specify which one you want. Okay, so just take care of that. So be mindful of beta releases. Okay, so this one is 3.2, I guess. Yeah, 0.4. So now that we have the dependencies here, again, be mindful of the spacing here. It should be 2 spaces nested below the dependencies. Okay, so let's get when you save the file, okay, I just pressed Ctrl S, it will automatically get the packages for you. Okay, or you can also press this until it says exit code 0. Okay, so you can add all of these libraries here without the comments here. So these comments are just comments if you want to say something about the library that you installed. Okay, so again, other dependencies that you may want: Twitter login, AdMob, camera, image picker, and Firebase database if you want to use the real-time database. Okay, so if you want to learn more about these libraries, head over to pub.dartlang.org and check the documentation and examples for each dependencies. So now it says exit code 0. That means nothing went wrong. So you have the packages now and you can use the libraries themselves. Okay, so that's just about it for installing new libraries. Okay, so let's try adding Firebase messaging or even Firebase storage. So let's get those two, Firebase messaging 210, and then Firebase storage 104. Okay, so let's try to get a version that is higher than is present in the pub. Okay, so you see here a note or an error that says, Firebase storage cannot be found, and you will get a failed code here. Okay, so let's return this to 104. And even if you misspell your library, you will get a failed code. However, sometimes, just like what happened in NPM, some people started using names that may be an error or typographic error from people. Okay, so be mindful of your spelling. Maybe it's present in the pub in Dartlang, so you need to make sure that you're typing correctly here. So let it terminate until it installs the correct dependencies, okay? All right, so we get an exit code 0 again. That means everything went well. Let's clear this up and try importing one of these things here, one of the libraries. Chat messages. So let's go to the top and then import, maybe Firebase. Okay, so let's wait for the analysis to finish. So this is VS Code trying to get your libraries. It will load them to the memory so that when you type something, it will appear in the IntelliSense, okay? So there it is, Cloud Firestore, and you can use it as soon as you have that. All right, so that's just about it for importing the Firebase dependencies. Okay, so again, here you should see exit code 0. Otherwise, repeat. And sometimes the problem is that maybe your codes or your folder contains other older libraries, and sometimes you will get errors on your software on the build section. Don't forget that you can use Flutter Clean in the CLI inside your project folder. So let me prepare the command prompt. Okay, so if you type in Flutter Clean, what it will do is that it will not clean your codes, but it will clean your build folder. Okay, so it will actually delete that, and then you can start fresh, especially when Flutter is upgrading from a lower version to a newer version. Let's say Flutter 0.8 version to 0.9 or 0.10. Your apps may suddenly break and you will say, oh, what happened? I didn't do anything to the codes. Then try a Flutter Clean command and then just get the packages again. So Flutter packages get. And again, it will download the packages for you and install them in the build folder. And then there it is. It's done. So you can import your libraries of choice. Firestore. All right, so there it is. Go ahead to the pub and search about, do a pre-reading of these libraries here: Firebase Auth, Google Sign-In, and Cloud Firestore. Okay, and don't forget to get your Android debug sign-in key for now. Okay, so in Firestore, you will need this if you want to use auth. Okay, so you cannot use the authentication service if you don't supply the key store signing key. Okay, so maybe it's better to show you first. Okay, so this is pub. Okay, so you just type in your whatever you're using and then do a readin. So you can see from the readme what they require you to do. Okay, like install additional dependencies for Android, for iOS. Okay, so how you initialize. So it's like having the examples here. So it's telling you what to do. So that's it for now. Let's stage and commit to the codes. Okay, let's just remove this for now. All right, save it. Okay, make sure the pub spec contains the correct dependencies. Let's go to Git Kraken and commit. Stage changes. Okay, add Firebase deps. I call it deps usually. So plus Firebase auth plus cloud firestore Google sign in storage. What else did we add? Okay, so again, you can use this. Click on this file name, and then you can see what you have changed. When you see this green thing here, the green bar, messaging. So pubspec lock usually does something within itself. Flutter changes this accordingly to your new dependencies. Don't change pubspec lock manually. Just let Flutter do it. Okay. So here, these are the changes that we did. These are the only changes that we did, in fact. So just let me put some message here. These are using Firebase in the chat app. Commit, and then you push your changes. Okay. So that's it.